Welcome to the Young's Pubs People podcast. Today, we're talking all things allergens, why allergen awareness matters, now more than ever, and the role we all play to keep our customers and our teams safe. I'm joined by some brilliant guests from across Young's, and later we'll be joined by Nadim, who is from the Natasha's Allergy Research Foundation. So, let's get into it. Amazing. Well, welcome everyone to the Young's Pubs People podcast. Are you happy to be here?
Yeah.
Very
happy. Promise we didn't rehearse that before. It's so lovely to have you all. And I guess the best place to start is to do a little introduction around the room. So who have I got?
Yeah, I'm Izzy. I'm from the Line Unicorn Kentish Town and I'm the general manager there.
Wonderful.
I think it's been about a year.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Just coming into it. I think it's like coming up to my 1 year. So
Amazing. First year under the belt.
I know.
Nice. And we have...
I am Natalie Rodner. I am the compliance manager for Young's and I've been here for about 6 months.
Yeah, you're quite early on, hey?
Very, yeah.
But fully in the role now.
Absolutely, yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And then we have...
I'm Daniel. I'm from the Three Crowns in Old Street. I took the pub as general manager in October, and I've been in Young's for nearly 3 years now.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Fabulous. Amazing. So we've got a few newbies actually amongst us, but been with Young's a little bit. Were you with Young's a little while before?
Coming up to, God, maybe 8-9 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Started as KP.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
In back in like the Surrey area. So started as KP, went to Commis Chef, went to CDP, sous chef.
Oh, fantastic.
I know, I've done it.
So you will literally see allergens from both sides,
yeah.
Right? That's
and then
really
just jumped
interesting.
onto the bar side. So it's nice to see it at both ends.
Yeah, oh my God.
See how it works on both sides. It's great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Well, thank you all for being here today and for chatting about obviously what is a really important subject about allergens. Natalie, I think a really good place to get stuck in is to can you talk about why allergen awareness, I guess, is so important now and more important than ever, and what Young's approach is with allergens?
Absolutely. So we're looking at, it's estimated about 1 in 3 people suffer from allergens across the UK, which actually that number shocked me quite a lot.
I didn't know it was that much.
So it can be anything from sort of a mild irritation to life-threatening anaphylaxis. So so I thought that was... it's quite a high number. So that is why it's so important for allergen awareness. So it's about protecting our customers, having policies, procedures, making sure that we've got all of that in place, making sure that our teams are confident when somebody comes up and orders some food, or when they're asking what their order is and asking if they've got any allergies. And just making sure that we have the tools in place to make sure that they are happy and they know what they're advising to the customer of what those allergens are. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And I guess that 1 in 3 really goes to show, actually, if we think of our pubs full of people, how many people that actually is. You know, when you've got a busy garden or a busy pub full of people all ordering food, that's a lot of allergens for your teams to manage.
It's not just the food, it's the drinks as well. So making sure that we know exactly what is in what we're serving.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I think I'd love to bring you guys in here from a general manager perspective. Kind of how does allergen management kind of look in the everyday life at a pub? What do you think?
Over the years, we've developed it a lot at mine specifically, but then we've got everything in place from Young's, which helps that massively. All the till systems, all the training online. Yeah. So before a team member, if they're new, even steps onto the floor or onto the bar, they've done all their training. They know about Natasha's law. They know about all the allergens. So that's the biggest support that we have as a company. Yeah. And then I think when it comes to in-house, you've got your allergen head on. You're always aware of it. Everyone's heard the stories, and it is a scary thing. But I think we've come into a space where we're doing really well with it. Yeah. And it's so much more open now, like the foods you can order, the different flours, that you can avoid it as much as you can, still make really amazing food and really great cocktails. Yeah. And like even the beer lineups now are pretty brilliant. Yeah. Like you can come into it. Have you got any What's your
Yeah,
bar
so
looking like?
I mean, we absolutely have a few gluten-free options on draft, when traditionally lager and beer has gluten in them. So having gluten-free options on the bar is like a massive win for some people, because, you know, we'll have a guest come in and they'll ask if you've got anything gluten-free, and usually they'll just look towards the fridges and look for a bottle, and you can actually go, no, if you'd like to try this, you know, would you like a taste? It's completely allergen-free, allergen-safe, gluten-free, and you get to give that kind of experience to the guest, and then they'll go, wow, this pub has gluten-free beer on draft. I can now drink beer again.
I think the breweries as well at the moment are brilliant with it.
They're pushing it so much.
I think they've realised there's like a sector for having allergen-friendly beers and allergen-friendly
well, it's an opportunity, isn't it? It makes sense.
You get so many of them coming in and giving them testers. I think especially probably like in our pubs where, you know, it's a gluten-free friendly or allergen-friendly business.
Yeah.
They're on us. They will be in there like, oh, I've got a new ale. They'll turn up, I've got a new beer, and you're like, got 10 lined up, and you're thinking, I've only got 8 taps. I want to take all of them I can.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh dear. Yeah.
But I think that kind of confidence that it grows, that is ultimately what we're doing. We're working safely, but it gives the guest that confidence and the consumer that confidence, where if the team are confident in the way they are selling their food and drink and the way we're operating, it just makes the guest experience so much better, and it just takes so much stress off of them, because the last thing you want when you've got an allergy going to a restaurant or a pub is to be told no, or to be told you're not sure, because that's the worst thing you can do. So giving that confidence just brings your business forward 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I guess, how do you balance delivering, you know, the importance of delivering it with serious attitude of, you know, but in a way with your teams that they're not frightened of it?
Yeah.
You know, is there a kind of key to that, or something you've done with your teams in terms of that balance of it's okay to ask the question, make sure, double check, you know, etc.
I think we've got to a point where I'm quite lucky that from the time I've worked at the line, was 3 years now, was working from like assistant to deputy to GM. The progress we've made going from having a lot of gluten-free options, because the GM before was gluten-free, and then also my head chef having allergies of himself, that he's allergic to lobster, shellfish, everything like that we can't have on our menu either. And then me myself, I've got sesame allergy, so we got to be so careful with everything we do, so we're so on it. But with the community we built around us at the moment, especially the gluten-free community, I have a lot of team members applying that are gluten-free or celiac, and they want to come work for us.
Oh, wow.
So when it comes to actually like the hiring and the training, people are on it. Wow. They know exactly. That's like brilliant. They're so aware of it. They're aware because they've had to go to all these restaurants themselves, and they don't want to take the risk anymore. So I think when you've got someone coming into the business that's like, I want to work for you because you're allergen friendly, I just think, come on in.
Yeah, that's
be part of the team.
For sure.
We'll still put the same training into place, but they're so on it.
They're
so aware of it, and I think everything online on social media now is brilliant to help.
I mean, it makes all the difference, doesn't it? Even I've seen your reviews on brilliant gluten-free roast, and you see it pop up. I think it's just such a selling point, you know. It's just such a selling point
I've
to
got
a
my
business.
gluten-free girlies.
If you're listening and you haven't had a gluten-free roast of a lion and unicorn,
I was saying, like, the community is crazy. Like, they're so on it.
But that's nice. It breeds that positivity, and it's the confidence again that people feel, and people want to work in that environment. You know, it not even crossed my mind that actually from a recruitment and retention perspective,
I know, I was like,
it's
wow.
another perk.
I didn't even realise that there was communities around certain allergens, which is really like so,
maybe vegan. I'd maybe thought
there's
of
community
before.
around that. There's community around like the gluten-free community is massive, and I think especially with like nuts as well, you have a community around there that people rally together and they'll support each other and where to go, which is great.
That's amazing.
So it's a different style of looking at allergens, of that you actually meet loads of people that have the same allergies as you.
And they experience a Young's pub and say, you know, it was great, and pass that on, and that's super positive.
And that's the processes and procedures that you've got in place, which work, which is fantastic.
But then it's also support from, you know, like throughout all our training.
Yeah.
That's, I think, one of the key things that Young's are on about. Is all the allergens.
The training, the controls in place, the risk assessments. I mean, we even forget, like you were saying with team applying, we've got controls in place for team with allergies, risk assessments, EpiPens on sites. Yeah. So there is really no mistakes that can be made in terms of, like, it is zero tolerance with allergies. And that is the most important thing, is that you cover all your bases, not just with your guests, but with your team as well, because that confidence will just grow even further and further.
Yeah, everyone talks about how the guest should be comfortable walking into your business. And I think, yeah, of course, always. But for me, my main focus is, if your team's on point and your team's comfortable, it's going to just like go out into the rest of the customers and everyone that comes in. So I think if your team's comfortable with if they have an allergy and they know that they're in a safe place, then it will just go radiate out into the customers.
Yeah.
And then it's like, business plan done, dusted, got the customers in, you're sorted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if a couple of you mentioned there, actually, the training and the procedures in place, what does that kind of allergy sequence look like for Youngs?
So we've got something on CPL, which is our online platform. We've got risk assessments in place. We've got on the job training in place. We've got it on our checklist every day. So it is a constantly evolving. It's constant communication between yourselves and the kitchen. So if there's any substitutions as well, we've got processes in place.
It's always the first thing that EHO and the auditing
absolutely
is the first thing will be allergen management.
Yeah. So
amazing.
Lots,
so there's
lots
and lots. And I guess, like you mentioned earlier about the drinks, Natalie, because actually that is another side of it that we often forget, because we think, food consuming, but actually drinks as well. And so for a customer, I guess that journey of being asked about allergens, or your allergen journey, starts from the minute you walk through the door. Are there certain kind of steps that people, our teams at Youngs follow in terms of those touch points? Or
absolutely. So as soon as the team go over to the table, they need to be asking if there's an allergen, and then the process kicks in, right? So then you go through and tell them what they can and can't eat with the folder, and it all starts from there with the washing of the hands, just making sure that the food is ordered the correct way on the tills. So it's all a process, which every pub across Youngs follows. So it's exactly the same process.
Yeah. And kind of in-house, in terms of training, what do you guys think's the best kind of way to inspire your teams to really, I mean, I guess yours is a little bit different, Izzy, because you've got quite a lot of allergens on site to manage. So maybe they're thinking, but for yourself, Dan, maybe for your team, is there anything?
For me, we've got quite a large menu as well, but when we introduce a seasonal menu and we change our menu, we'll always update not just the dish changes and giving those a try, but the allergens information as well. So for us, giving the team almost bite-sized training when a new dish enters our menu, and how we can sell that to guests and how we navigate that around it. Even the way you label menus, it doesn't need to be big in your face, because people with allergies don't like to have an issue reading a menu. It likes to be quite seamless and quite flawless, I think. And that's the kind of confident way to do it. But just mentioning things, whether it's vegan, it's just such a confidence boost. But in terms of allergies for team, I think that bite-sized training, that not spot check, but almost asking about allergies, because everyone has access to our allergen folders, to our information about our products. So they can study up on those in-house, and then you can kind of do mini quizzes. We have, as Natalie was saying, like information on CPL for allergen power hour training, which we've done a couple of times in the last 6 months. And for us, it's just so important that the team are confident, and it brings it back to that confidence in management, but not just management, team as well. Because, we can't be in every table. And yes, we'll be dealing with the allergy itself when it does, when someone does have one, but giving the team the initial confidence to serve a guest just completes that customer cycle for being able to handle it safely and confidently.
Yeah.
And giving them the confidence, the team, if they think something is wrong in the kitchen, then they need to question. They need to ask the chef. They need to make sure that they are confident as the team member to take that food out and serve it, I think.
100%.
Really important. Yeah.
We do a lot of like tastings with, our biggest team day would probably Sunday morning. I'll get everyone in probably like half an hour early, get a few coffees in them. But that's when we get the opportunity to try all the new dishes, and then we can face to face, they can try it. We can talk about the allergens in the dish, what it's made from. So especially when we have celiac customers come in, we have, whether you're a team member, team leader, assistant manager, they're going, yeah, so that's made from gluten-free pancake breadcrumb, this and this and this and this from here.
Yeah,
because
that's
we
amazing.
sat down with them and kind of got them excited about it. And I think if your team is way more into the food and into the dishes, it's like the worst thing where you have, oh, have you tried this? What's your favourite in the menu? They go, I don't know. I've tried it.
It's rubbish. It's absolutely rubbish.
But I think if you have confidence in your menu, confidence in your allergens, and your team's tried it as well, then it's like the upsell's great. The confidence to the customers that they are in a safe space is amazing.
Yeah, and they'll enjoy it. Elevates that customer experience. They've been recommended. They've been, they're assured of what's on that menu and what they're going to eat, and that's so much better.
You honestly see like the stress like drain from a customer sometimes. Yeah, like especially with our Sundays, our gluten-free Yorkies are so big. And
is that our secret to a big Yorkie? Make them gluten-free.
Ridiculous. And then our normal Yorkies are also like massive, but we always bring out the gluten-free or the allergen dishes first. We got all the tags and everything. We'll bring it all out first, and they'll go, sure, this is gluten-free.
Yeah.
And I'll go, yep, it's got the gluten tag, it's gluten-free Yorkie, and they're like questioning it. They go, God, that's massive.
Yeah.
And then you bring out they bring out the normal Yorkie and they go, yes, okay, I can see it now. So there's also, it's like it's confidence in stuff, but it's also a visual thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you need to be able to look at it and have full trust in that dish. We've worked with a lot of customers who have allergies, and they've put forward what would make them comfortable coming for a meal, and whether it's, a lot of them have said different style plates.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
For dishes.
That's good, yeah.
We don't just have allergy sticks, we have allergy nut gluten sticks. So depending on the dish, we'll have a gluten stick in it. If it's gluten-free, we'll have a nut stick in it if it's nut-free.
Yeah, amazing.
And if it's another allergy, like a shellfish allergy, we have the allergy stickers and we have the purple labels. Yeah. So literally coming to it, even if you take over the meal and you're like, okay, that's a nut-free dish because it says it right there.
Yes. It is that other visual cue, like you say.
But that's all off customer feedback.
That's amazing. And did you just kind of open that up as a conversation, or just kind of asked a few that you knew had allergies before? Or
I mean, a lot of people will go out their way to talk to me about it. They want to be involved in it. They want to be involved in like the allergen process, and I think it's brilliant when they're like,
that's so good.
Sometimes I go, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
can't believe I didn't think of that myself.
But that's magic, isn't it? And actually that shows the hunger of a customer, excuse the pun, wanting to make that difference, to make them and their community feel better.
And they'll put it out to their community as well.
Yeah, you're onto a winner there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm waiting for you to start your Instagram page.
Oh, we're gonna have to. But like you said, even seeing it, but when the guest takes the first bite, it shouldn't be, oh wow, are you sure that's allergen free, or the said allergy? Are you sure that's not with milk when you've used a good vegan spread? Like our food is good and our food is fresh and it's prepared safely, so we should be able to champion that, and that shouldn't be, oh, are you sure it is? It should just be perfect, And I think that the food quality that Youngs have now, and the opportunities to make everything, or as much as possible, free of allergens that might pop up more, just the best, rather than just swapping, have it allergy free in terms, or have it without gluten, without nuts, because you can elevate it just like that and make it so much easier and less of a barrier to entry for guests with allergens.
The produce quality is massive, because we're not buying stuff in. Everything from a pie to everything is made on site. Yeah. So that it's not you're getting a product in and you'll go, okay, what are the allergens on that?
Yes.
You're going, okay, I bought each of the components that go into that. Yeah. So you have so much control over what you're putting out, which firstly, it just makes food taste better. Absolutely. You know exactly what's going into your meals, which is another thing that gets confidence in the kitchen.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And just the food tastes really good.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it really does.
So it's just an added bonus as well.
And I guess we've not talked a lot about the chef side, but I guess, Izzy, you're probably the best suited to answer this one in terms of, where does the owner sit with the head chef? Is it very much head chef, general manager working together for that initial kind of, menu development and that food strategy? And then how does Allergens kind of feed into that?
I think my head chef Aidan is brilliant. He's so aware of everything, and I think having an allergy himself, he knows about the cross-contamination, even everything. But also he's so bright and clever when it comes to like thinking out dishes. And we will sit together every week and we will brainstorm. When we say brainstorm, I speak at him and I'm like, what about this? And he's like this, oh my God. Like going, yeah, these are a lot of good ideas. We only have a week.
Which one do we want to take forward?
So we'll kind of hone in on one, whether it will be a selection of starters, a selection of mains, the brunch menu. And when you go through the product listings and you can see the different flours you can get, the different breads you can get, and that you don't have to stick to your standard pub style food. It can be elevated, it can be changed. Like we almost do not buy in any wheat flour, wheat breadcrumbs.
Just to reduce that risk.
Cross-contamination is cut down massively. And people don't want it on a dish where it's like, oh, we can swap that and maybe give you that. They want that thing.
It sounds like a lesser option, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you don't want a burger with no bun.
No.
You're taking a key element out of that dish, aren't you? And just going, we can have 50% of it.
So I think that's what the brainstorming behind it is. It's how are we going to do this without swapping?
Substituting.
Yeah. Nobody wants to substitute. You just want it to be gluten-free anyway. And like the stuff you have coming out at the moment is brilliant. Like the gluten-free crumb, all of our croquettes, our Scotch eggs.
Yeah.
Everything that's coming out
that
lot.
Yeah.
But there's certain ways there's tried and tested though. Like Aidan will test it, we'll all try it. I'll go, no, I think we need to work on that a bit more. Yeah. You know, it's never going to be perfect.
Customers in, they'll have a little trial.
Little survey.
Yeah, a little see how that goes.
Yeah, I think it's never going to be perfect the first time you do it, but if you put the time and effort into a menu and you really want to be allergen focused, go back, trial and test it. You'll come out with something that's really good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And Natalie, have you seen kind of Young's approach to allergens kind of transition, or, you know, is it, and it's obviously been something that's been around for a long time, but in terms of kind of the now in the wider kind of hospitality, have you seen it become more of the forefront?
Well, I think we've got a really good, robust system in place. I think all the checks that we have in place, all the training that we have in place, I think it's a really good process that we have. I think it's great, and everybody buys into it. Everybody does it.
Yeah, that's nice.
So yes, but I mean, we really are focusing on it at the moment, which is really good.
And there's a lot of buy-in, focus, doesn't it?
Absolutely,
it's that reminder, constant reminders of, like we say, we've got the bite-sized training. It's on CPL. It's on a checklist. It's all those obvious touch points that we can try and weave it in so that it becomes second nature for all our teams. And that takes time. But I think we've been building this over years, and actually now we're at a really confident, great place.
I think so.
And different businesses deal with it differently, right? You know, I guess as a allergy sufferer with sesame, did you say was it sesame? Yeah. From kind of eating out elsewhere, what's your experience? Kind of, I imagine you've got some horror stories. Or...
I mean, it's rough. I love a certain cuisine that uses a lot of sesame.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
But then again, like you can kind of, I think if places look at it a certain way, it's like Young's were pulling out a lot of the doing the allergy-free entire meals.
That's it.
Yeah. And it's I was talking to a chef who was part of it the other day, and she was saying, yeah, God, how do you create a dish with how do you create this with no milk? How do you create this with no egg? And she was saying, yeah, it was difficult doing a completely allergy-friendly 14 allergens out of it meal. Yeah. But she was like, when we actually start figuring stuff out, you're like, this is brilliant.
Absolutely.
Well, that was so clever. And there's like a real satisfaction that comes out of it. So I think, especially last year, Young's really started focusing in on the allergy-free stuff completely. I think some of the dishes that came out that were really fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, the creativity almost flourished because it was a challenge, but a challenge with purpose. And that means gives, chefs or whoever's kind of developing that menu that real drive to get it right, but to still have that creativity and that flair that you want the dish to taste good.
And it sparks something in different pubs that, especially when all the comms are going out about this stuff, it sparked in a few chefs going, okay, maybe I can look at my menu.
Yeah. Can we do better? Yeah. Even if it is a couple more dishes that are majority allergen free. Yeah. And just make your way up that way.
And that's where it's great with Youngs, that the chefs have the freedom to do that as well, to create what they want to create. So which is exciting for them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Amazing.
There's a good support for them, like the forums that are set up. Also, it's not just like a forum online or anything. It's like all the head chefs coming together and they can bounce ideas off each other. So Aidan can go talk to someone else instead of me just talking.
Yeah, absolutely. And the first thing he says is, my goodness, all these ideas.
You met my general manager. She won't stop talking about gluten.
But you say that, but the more ideas you have, like we say, you can't take them all forward.
No.
The more you've then got to work with, and the more he can go, oh, actually, I can't do that for that dish, but I could for that. So let's do it for that and find another solution for that dish. Yeah.
I definitely think if you honed in on it, you would be able to make. If you focused on allergens, you could definitely make an entire menu of the food you want without those allergens.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, you really can.
Yeah.
I think some of our pubs have done similar things with supper clubs and done kind of taken on that challenge and kind of invited the local community in and had a supper club of 3, 4, 5 courses that are completely allergen free with almost that challenge in mind and be like, come taste it, you'll still love it.
Yeah.
And wow, you're not risking anything, which is fab. So we need to see more of that for sure. Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing your experiences. It's really, really insightful, and I appreciate it. But thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for inviting us.
You are very welcome. I think we're actually going to invite Nadim in from the Natasha's Allergy Research Foundation to talk about allergens in a bit of a wider perspective. But thank you both for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, Nadim, thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure. Glad to be here.
It's lovely to have you with us. I think what would be a really good place to start for our listeners is for you to talk a little bit about Natasha's Allergy Research Foundation and kind of how Youngs have worked with the foundation over the last 3 years, is it?
Yes, we are the UK's food allergy charity, and that's just what we focus on. And we focus on trying to actually solve it through science that we're funding. We're spending quite a few £1 million at the moment on funding big science that will hopefully unlock the reason why so many people in the world, and particularly in the UK, are becoming food allergic, and then how we can, in effect, switch it off. And on that journey, we work out how we can help people live their lives, in the here and the now. So, for example, access to treatments through hospitals that could absolutely bring them back into the food economy and remove their allergy, etc. Exactly, absolutely. We're very on that. And in fact, we've funded nearly a £3 million clinical trial that's shortly coming to an end across 9 hospitals, 2 in Scotland and 7 in the UK. That's doing amazingly well. And hundreds of young people, actually a lot of people that would come into a Young's pub, that age, who are allergic to cow's milk or peanuts. We're actually treating them by microdosing them with the very food they're allergic to, actually shop-bought food as opposed to some drug. And honestly, within 6 to 8 months, they can drink a whole glass of milk a day or have several peanuts each day. And that is dramatic, and all without the use of any drugs. But of course, we need for this trial to finish. And then we will be presenting all that data to the government and telling the government, please make this available across the NHS to treat millions of people.
That is groundbreaking.
Yes. Is that adults and children, or what age?
Yes, it's adults and children. So we've actually taken the sweet spot is from the age of 2 years old, which so obviously toddlers here, to 23 years old. Which, people in their first jobs, for example, coming into pubs and ordering with their friends, and treating hundreds of them for those two food allergies, dairy and peanuts. So far it's going well, but we have to wait officially till the final results are in before we can really shout about it. Yeah.
That's incredible.
And with this, I mean, we've spoken about this to the board at Young's already 3 years ago, roughly, when we launched it, and kind of kept them up to date. And Young's have been a really great partner for us because, at the end of the day, I think, good food businesses that are run really responsibly, like Young's, great board, know what their responsibilities are at the end of the day, and really have a good understanding of that, and helping us to do through funding what we're doing is really important because, at the end of the day, what we want to do and what Young's actually want as an outcome are really aligned.
Yeah, of course.
We want no more allergy. and on that journey, people to have a great experience wherever they go in hospitality and in Youngs also want that too. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that a lot of the pubs, actively fundraise for the cause. We know our pubs are very fundraise led. They love that side of things, and because it goes hand in hand with our business so well, we get so much buy-in from our pub teams and from our customers because they align perfectly.
Yeah, and I think it's, win-wins are great because it's got a great narrative, however you look at it, really. And the only way is up, really. Solving the problem, having more happy customers, having a more resilient and robust Young's business. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, and kind of from your perspective, looking at the wider industry, hospitality industry, have you seen kind of a shift in recent years of people taking it more seriously, or that that customer journey when you eat out yourself, kind of what that looks like? Have you seen more people stepping up, or?
Definitely seen two types of things. It's really interesting. So when you throw a stone in a pond, there's a ripple effect, and that can have different effects, if you like. There's a great one, and there's a didn't expect that to happen one. So on the great side, basically broadly through a lot of the campaigning we've been doing and a lot of the kind of the big projects we've been funding, essentially are changing the way the public and business think about food allergy in general as a broad brush, and lifting up that tide of awareness, if you like. So more and more there's best practice coming in. More and more there is, if you just said, compassion for your fellow human being, who in this case is a customer, for example. The millions of people with food allergies in the UK, they want to be in the food economy. They want to participate and feel normal.
Of course.
And I think we had really great stories earlier from general managers of different pubs when they touched on how they can create dishes that are not, here's a dish for you, but we've removed half of the ingredients because you can't eat it. But here's a dish for you, the one you want.
Yeah.
And it tastes great, and you can be very happy with that.
Yeah.
They can be very happy with that because they taste it and it's wonderful. That is what you call responding to a physical and psychological need state for your customer. You sort that out, you get repeat business, and everybody's a winner. Everybody's happy. The flip side, I'd say, when we see bad ripples, is often actually in the chefing world.
Okay.
And that sometimes comes from some of the most well-known chefs in the country, what you call the TV stars, etc., some of whom we know quite well and some less so, where their response is very knee-jerk. I'm a super creative. You don't tell me what to do.
Don't put me in a box. Don't restrict me.
If you don't want, I want to use anything I want to use. I'm the artist, basically. But they're not really understanding the bigger picture.
No.
And they tend to be, I have to say, of a much older generation. Etc.
Yeah.
So I think over time, things change. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, and we were even talking, weren't we, before we started recording, about the shift in kind of the younger generations coming through, and actually we're seeing trends of them not only be more curious about where their food is coming from and what's organic and what's not, and whether things are locally sourced, but actually the allergens come hand in hand with that. So they're much more vocal about saying, well, no, I need that to suit me, which is great. Yeah. And actually we can all learn from. And I think having some of those people in our pub teams as well is a huge benefit, because they're then spreading that, amongst the team and picking up good habits and kind of, following that allergy sequence we've got, but also that compassion and genuine care, and not making a fuss to a customer that might potentially flag it when they're ordering food, because I can't imagine many people want a horn going off and going, we've got an allergy, we've got, all of that, which, I think can still happen out there.
I'll just it's a bit of a shocker, but worth getting on the tape, as it were. So a lot of food businesses are getting it right. And from what I'm hearing earlier, it sounds like, that journey is well in process with Youngs. A flip side of that, just to help people understand how that's not the case everywhere, the airline industry, particularly long haul, if you think about it, is essentially flying over, maybe 10,000 miles, 8,000 miles, whatever. It is hospitality in the sky, because for many people, there will be multiple dishes served during that flight, potentially breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And for food allergic people who travel, and there are obviously millions of them, not just the UK, but everywhere, that is fraught with fear, because they're trapped in a metal container and the plane can't land. Yeah. the response from much of the biggest airlines, some of the biggest businesses there are, who you would think, really should know better, is sometimes to be so shocked to hear. They take the booking, they take the money all in advance. But when you board and then you're asked to say, do you have an allergy? Because you're asked, if you have one on the booking, to make it noted and to say as you board.
Right.
The shock of the cabin crew, which you could say would be a bit like having the crew in the pub, that is aware, is so shocked. They then rush to tell the captain. The captain will then say, get them off the plane. And they're offloaded, summarily escorted, sometimes with security brought on, thrown off the plane and left in that country, basically to fend with no refund or anything. That's how an industry, a big one, can get it so wrong. It's so good to hear, actually, that young people like Young's company, I think, is actually leading the way and are an exemplar, essentially, for others. And that's really important.
Gosh, that's shocking
to
hear.
Shocking.
I had no idea
No.
about that.
Yeah.
And actually, to go back to your stat earlier, Natalie, 1 in 3, and I know that includes intolerances as well as allergens.
Yeah.
But that is a lot of people. And I completely get the fear, thinking, I'm going to go up there, even if they have let me on the plane or whatever, if they look surprised when you first get on, and then you're trapped up there. You can't nip to a hospital. You can't, what that medical care looks like on a plane is far from what's on ground.
That's right.
So, gosh, you can imagine it really puts people off even traveling.
It does. And people really do take a risk, in many ways when traveling. But you have to travel, really. You can't say, I'm not going to see relatives or go to funerals and weddings and so forth and so forth. Part of life, as is eating out. And it's really important, because eating out is such a social and kind of rewarding experience, for mental health. It's really important for people to be together.
And to not feel like you can't go to something because you've got an allergy. You're not the person in the birthday party. And I think we've spoken about it in various trainings as well, about, it might be that you've got a table of 16 and only one has an allergen. But how important is it that whole table are looked after?
Yes.
As equals,
and that one person not to be embarrassed.
Absolutely,
yes.
And actually, it might be, if that is a really serious allergen, that group of friends are aware of that and say, where do you want to go? And they choose where they want to go.
Yes.
So if that is a Young's pub, great. That's 16 people through the door.
Absolutely.
But rather than they might have been somewhere, a neighbouring business and not had that reassured experience and actually never go back again.
Absolutely. And to that point, we've done quite a bit of research on this as a charity around basically behavior. Basically, what happens when someone in your party, in your group, has a food allergy, and of course you're all friends and you're all going out, whatever night that might be, birthday. Well, no surprise now, really, that group is very sympathetic and empathetic to that person with food allergies in the group, and they will pick a place that they know can serve well for that person's needs, and everybody will come in line around that. And so really, as we said, from an economics point of view, restaurants, if you like, a hospitality doesn't do that well, they are the first losers, essentially.
Absolutely. It's an opportunity for those that do it to not just get the one person, but 16, however big that group is.
Make it 17.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. That's really insightful, Nadim. Thank you. I guess if there's anything for our listeners, is there a nugget of kind of advice or wisdom or something that you wish more people in the hospitality industry knew about allergens?
So I think food allergy really has exploded in the last, say, 10 to 20 years, particularly in the last 20, to 10 years, I'd say. We're really seeing that curve go up and up. So what does that really mean? Well, it actually breaks down into two things for the food business like Young's. One is there are about 43,000 young children under the age of 1 that become food allergic, 1 year old, 6 months old, every year. And those 43,000 are essentially coming into school, into, et cetera, and coming out into the world of pubs, if you like. Secondly, you have another cohort or group of people developing allergies in the first time that we've been talking about. Those are adults. So let's just say people like us three here right now who've perhaps never had any form of allergy whatsoever, and suddenly age 35, 42, whatever, develop an allergy to, say, nuts or crustaceans or actually fruits. So a lot of desserts that would have apple, strawberries or kiwis on, for example, really typical. They can't eat those anymore. So you're seeing really two ends of the spectrum, older people and, of course, younger people. the allergy rates are growing in both, which means there will be more and more people with allergies walking into Young's pubs.
Right.
And so, there's never a better time than now to be really on it and to have an appreciation of that, because it's core to the business. If you turn away all those people, there will be no business. Soon enough, basically. And of course, we as an organization, Natasha's research fund, are working hard to try and solve the problem outright. When we get that done, we will shut the charity down because there's no longer any need for it, in that sense. But in the interim, businesses like Young's are doing great, but don't stop being great. Keep pushing the envelope. Don't think it's good enough. Only best and being excellent and talking about it, as we heard earlier, which was really wonderful to hear actually the Young's team talk about it in a positive way, I should say, not as in a dreadful way. That's the way forward.
Yeah, for sure. Keeping the finger on the pulse, because
Absolutely.
it's ever evolving.
Yeah.
And we were actually speaking on another podcast episode about kind of the service cycle. And actually that's constantly evolving and seasonally it changes. So, we're at the beautiful Swan in Walton today with a huge garden. Yes. And actually the customer journey will change in summer versus winter in where they're served, whether it's at the table, whether they walk to the bar and all of that. So actually evolving and keeping that finger on the pulse of allergens and going, right, well, our journey's changed a little bit. So how do we weave this in still? Because we're not dropping it. So where can we put it that makes sense so that it's still covered every single time?
And don't become complacent. Don't think,
don't assume.
Exactly. Somebody else is going to do it. We need to make sure that we're all checking and doing and
actively.
Absolutely.
Rather than...
I mean, probably imagine like a lot of hospitality businesses, a lot of the people that work in Young's will be younger, should we say, in their 20s, let's just say.
A little bit, the majority,
like us.
We might be the exceptions.
Like us three in our early 20s. Is that, am I getting that right?
100% well done, Nadim.
So that in one way is a positive thing from the point of view, more than ever, those groups of young people will have friends who have food allergies or know of people. So they'll be much more generationally into the zone of food allergy than, say, the previous generations.
Yeah, brilliant. Amazing. Anything else to add, Natalie?
I don't think so. I think that's been fantastic. Yeah,
amazing.
Really good.
Thank you, Nadim. I really appreciate it.
Thank
and
you.
It's joyous to hear about the foundation and that mission. It sounds like it's going really well. So we wish you all the best with it.
Appreciate it. Thank
we'll
you.
Keep doing our bit.
One drink at a time.
Exactly. Wonderful. What a way to end. Thank you.
Thank you.